What if the power went out? When it didn't come back? No phones, no internet, no refrigeration, no help. Today I'm reviewing a product called David's Shield, a preparedness guide that claims to help families survive a long-term blackout or grid failure. Is it legit or just fear-based marketing? Let's break it down. Before we start, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below if preparedness topics interest you. All links mentioned will be in the comments section. So, what is David's Shield? It's a preparedness guide marketed toward Christian families, focusing on surviving long-term power outages caused by EMPs, grid failure, or other national emergencies. The interesting part is that instead of relying on high-tech gear, it emphasizes old-world low-tech survival methods. Much of its inspiration is drawn from Amish practices and biblical principles of stewardship and foresight. The core philosophy is to build resilience through knowledge and skills, not just gadgets. It says about creating a plan for your family that does undepend on a functioning electrical grid. The guide suggests that the most reliable systems are the ones that have worked for centuries, long before our modern conveniences even existed. It's a very different approach from the typical survivalist content you might see online, which often revolves around expensive equipment and complex tactical setups. This guide brings it back to the basics: how to live simply and securely, even when modern systems fail. According to its creators, David's Shield is designed to be a comprehensive manual for off-grid living. It claims to teach you a variety of essential skills, for instance, how to store a large supply of food safely and for the long term without any refrigeration. It covers methods for preserving medicine that would otherwise spoil off-grid, a critical concern for many families. It also details how to secure sources of water, heat, and light without depending on public utilities. Another major section is dedicated to protecting your home and family without relying on electronic security systems, using practical and time-tested strategies. Beyond the physical preparations, the guide also addresses how to mentally and spiritually prepare for a crisis, which is a component often overlooked in other survival guides. The core idea is simple and powerful: knowledge over gadgets. It is about empowering you with the how-to so that you are uncompletely dependent on gear that can fail, break, or be lost. So, after going through it all, here's what I liked about David's Shield. First and foremost, it focuses on low-tech solutions. This actually makes a lot of sense in a real-world, long-term blackout scenario. Complex electronics have multiple points of failure, but simple time-tested methods are far more reliable. Second, the overall tone promotes personal responsibility and preparation, not panic and fear. It encourages a calm, deliberate approach to getting your house in order, which I find much more constructive than sensationalism. Third, the emphasis on skills instead of expensive gear is really refreshing. It makes preparedness accessible to more people. Not everyone can afford a $1,000 generator, but anyone can learn how to preserve food or purify water. And finally, I appreciated that it connects preparedness with faith, discipline, and leadership. It frames being ready not as a paranoid reaction, but as a wise and responsible act of stewardship for your family, which will resonate with its target audience. It's about building a foundation of resilience, not just hoarding supplies. Now, for some important disclaimers, because we need to approach this with discernment. Let's be clear, some of the marketing around David's Shield uses very dramatic language about AI threats, imminent EMPs, and specific end-time scenarios. We have to separate the practical advice from the sales pitch. Not all of those dramatic claims are guaranteed, provable, or should be taken as fact. This guide is not a prophecy, and it is absolutely not a substitute for professional financial or medical advice. You should always consult with qualified experts for those areas of your life. It's crucial to think of David's Shield as a preparedness guide, a collection of what-if strategies and old-world skills, not as a crystal ball or a prediction of the future. The value is in the practical knowledge, but you must filter out the marketing hype. Preparedness should be driven by wisdom, not by fear. So, who is this product actually for? David's Shield may be a really good fit for you if a few things are true. If you want to reduce your family's dependence on the electrical grid and public utilities, this guide provides a solid framework. It's also for you if you value self-reliance and practical skills over just buying more stuff. If you prefer simple, traditional methods that have stood the test of time, you'll find a lot of value here. And if you're looking for a preparedness mindset that aligns with a faith-based worldview, this is one of the few resources that specifically caters to that. On the other hand, it may not be for you if you're looking for recommendations on the latest high-tech gear, solar generators, or advanced, military-style survival tactics. This guide is intentionally low-tech, focusing on foundational knowledge rather than modern equipment. It's about a different philosophy of readiness. Let's talk about the price and the overall value. The product is usually priced at around $67, though you can sometimes find it discounted. When you compare that cost to what you might spend on physical preparedness items, it's relatively affordable. A single small generator can cost several $100s. A decent solar system can cost thousands, and stocking up on specialized survival gear adds up very quickly. With David's Shield, you're not paying for physical products. You're paying for information, methods, and a structured plan. The value, therefore, really depends on how you use it. If you just read it and put it on a shelf, the value is minimal. But if you actually study the methods and practice the skills it teaches, that one-time $67 investment could potentially save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars on gear you might not have needed in the first place. It's an investment in knowledge, so, after all that, what's the final verdict? Is David's Shield worth it? My conclusion is this: if you approach it with a spirit of discernment, if you intentionally avoid the fear-driven marketing language and instead focus on the practical lessons contained within, then yes, it can be a very useful and valuable preparedness resource, especially for families who value a faith-centered low-tech approach. The skills it teaches for food preservation, water sourcing, and off-grid living are genuinely practical. However, it's not a magic bullet. Just remember that no single guide can replace your own wisdom, the strength of your local community, and good old-fashioned common sense. Use it as a tool to build your knowledge base, but always think critically and adapt the principles to your own unique situation. It's one piece of a much larger preparedness puzzle. If you want to check out David's Shield for yourself and make your own decision, I've placed the official link in the comments section below. I encourage you to look at it with the balanced perspective we've talked about today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more honest reviews like this one. Stay safe and be prepared.